On Friday night, we will have a game between two Big 12 teams that will not count in the Big 12 conference standings. A battle of the Wildcats between number 20, Arizona, and number 14, Kansas State. A game that should live up to the hype and a game that will be massive for both of these teams' resumes. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of our exclusive expert picks, some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country, beating out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 6 years. And we can guarantee we'll make it 7 by the end of this year. So go sign up. It's one of the lowest prices in the country, one of the best deals in the entire country, a full year-long subscription. No other site is going to offer you that deal. We can promise you that. No other site is going to have the track record that we have. So go take advantage of it, become a member, and become a part of our GE Nation. So let's dive into this game. I'm pumped, man. Truly a battle of the Wildcats. Arizona Wildcats, Kansas State Wildcats, top 20 matchup. And in a way, it's great. This is kind of a non-conference game, but it's also a shame that this does not count towards the conference standings. Arizona, of course, a newcomer to the conference this year after leaving the Pac-12. And look, this has an opportunity to be a relatively high-scoring game in Manhattan. We'll start with Arizona in their offense. Look, it's a two-man show in my eyes. You got Noah Fifita at quarterback and Tetairoa McMillan, one of, if not the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the entire country. Fifita already thrown for over 590 yards and 5 touchdowns. Tetairoa McMillan already 315 yards and 4 touchdowns in just 2 games. That also includes, though, 10 catches for 304 yards in their first game against New Mexico. So not the best game, second game against Northern Arizona, but still an unbelievable performance, a record-setting performance in their season-opening win over the Lobos. You know, this Arizona team has a pretty underrated rushing game, too. You've got 205 rushing yards against New Mexico. They had 188 versus Northern Arizona. Quality Conley, 202 yards, leading the way for the Wildcats this year. And Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was a guy we were very high on back in the preseason. Also rushed for already 100 yards this season. Should continue a very successful streak as the season goes on. But the million-dollar question for Arizona offensively is we know they can air it out. We know that Fifita's good. We know McMillan's good. We know the running game's solid. Which team's going to show up? Is it going to be the team that torched New Mexico for 61 points? Or is it going to be the team that struggled a little bit just last week, only beating Northern Arizona 22-10? Arizona's got to find some sort of consistency here. They've got to find a little bit more balance across the board. They're talented on both sides, of course, but it's going to be a much tougher test coming up on Friday in Manhattan against a Kansas State offense that can certainly meet them step for step, and some would even say is better than that of Arizona. You look at the Wildcats of Kansas State. They know how to run. That's what they want to do. 283 rushing yards in their season-opening win against UT Martin, 215 rushing yards last week in a thrilling road victory against Tulane. And the X factor, the man of the hour, is DJ Giddens. He's unbelievable. 238 yards already on the year, and that's just rushing. He's even more dangerous, or just as dangerous, as a pass catcher as well. So he's dangerous as a runner. He's dangerous out of the backfield. He is the do-it-all guy for Kansas State. Avery Johnson, though, we're still waiting on a little bit more from him, especially on the ground game. He's rushed for 77 yards on the year on 11 carries, so he's averaging 7 yards a carry. But I'm interested to see if now, in a big game against Arizona, maybe Kansas State and Chris Kleiman open up the playbook a little bit more and allow a few more designed runs for Avery Johnson. He's thrown for over 330 yards and 4 touchdowns. We know he's a very accurate passer. We know he is a dangerous runner. And that ability to run with Johnson or run with Giddens, that RPO that Kansas State can run, could give this Arizona defense fits on Friday night. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that Arizona defense here in 1 second. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. We've got a new sponsor for the show this season, Chris Gates Fitness and his online fitness training camp. Training Camp is a monthly fitness program designed specifically for football fans, and it's like nothing I've ever seen before. With hundreds of different workouts and exclusive content such as the calorie calculator and, my personal favorite, the low-calorie, high-protein tailgating cookbook, Training Camp is a must for any football fan looking to get or stay in shape. With Chris as your coach, you'll get top-notch guidance. He's been coaching people online since 2018, and
Like all of you watching, he's a die-hard football fan. His clients consistently get results by implementing a flexible approach to diet and exercise. So if you're interested in getting brand new workout programs every month, fitness challenges every month to push you to develop healthy habits, challenges within the training camp community like weekly football pick'ems, access to live Q&As where you can get direct personalized support from Chris with your health and fitness, and the support of a community of people there to encourage you every step of the way, you need to visit chrisgatesfitness.com/gridironexpert, the link down in the description below. Learn more, sign up today, and use our promo code GRIDIRON to get your first month for just $10.
Simply put, the Arizona defense has not been good. It just hasn't lived up to the expectations. They allowed 39 points and 470 yards against New Mexico back in week 1. 210 of those 470 came on the ground. They struggled at stopping the Lobos. And New Mexico probably could have made a better game of that if New Mexico had had any lick of defense of their own and had been able to stop Tetero and McMillan. But it was a concerning defensive performance from the Wildcats in that opening game. The following week against Northern Arizona, they did hold them to 10 points. They did hold them to just 198 yards, as they should. The game was a 12-point victory for the Wildcats. Should have been by a lot more. The defense certainly did their part. The offense, not so much. So, it's another question here. We talked about the offense for Arizona. Which offense is going to show up? Are we going to see the week 1 offense? Or are we going to see the week 2 offense? For the defense, are we going to see the week 2 defense? Or are we going to see the week 1 defense? That's the million-dollar question for Brent Brennan and his Arizona squad heading into Friday night. You've got to find a way to put the week 1 offense with the week 2 defense against this very good Kansas State team. If you choose one or the other, it's not going to result in a victory. For Kansas State, on the other hand, they're typically very strong. That's a strength for Chris Klieman. He's known for having very aggressive and very stingy defenses since he arrived in Manhattan. But last week against Tulane, 491 yards against the Green Wave. They allowed nearly 500 yards of offense, were significantly outgained on the road, but yet still eked out a 7-point victory. The defense, ironically, made the 2 biggest plays of that game. The 60-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown with a little under 9 minutes remaining in the game to give Kansas State the lead. It ended up being the go-ahead touchdown. And then, of course, the interception in the end zone with just 12 seconds remaining to fully seal the win. That was interesting, right? The defense struggled so much, gave a big play after big play after big play, got torched through the air, allowed 342 yards through the air against Tulane, but it came through when it mattered the most. And look, a win is a win is a win. That's how you survive in the world of college football. You can play absolutely atrocious, but that means nothing if you can just come through in the biggest moments. Kansas State, their defensive line, their front 7 especially, have been very, very impressive. 9 sacks already on the year, including 5 last week against Tulane. That's going to be a key here on Friday night. Kansas State's ability to pressure Noah Fafita. We talked about the Wildcats. We know they can run the ball, but they want to have a little bit of balance. And when it's all said and done, they want to be able to air it out with one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12 and one of the best wide receivers in the country in McMillan. That's what they want to do. They won't be able to do that if Kansas State is able to create some pressure and if their secondary can improve just a little bit. So a lot of factors for both of these teams heading into Friday night. Again, a top 20 matchup in the Big 12 that does not count towards the Big 12 conference standings. What is going to happen? This has a chance to be one of the best games of the entire week, one of the best games of week 3. And ultimately, I've got to go with Kansas State here. I've got to go with the Wildcats of Manhattan. I like this Kansas State team a lot, so much they were my preseason pick to win the Big 12. I like their defense currently a lot more than that of Arizona's. Arizona unable to stop the run. Kansas State struggling a little bit to stop the pass. I think Chris Klieman engineers a great defensive game plan here. They bottle up Arizona. They create pressure on Arizona, force them to be one-dimensional. This is the toughest game that the Wildcats of Arizona have faced all year long. Kansas State, a little bit more battle-tested after what we saw in week 2 with home field advantage, with the run game that I do not have faith in Arizona stopping. The Wildcats will get this win. I think they get it by at least a touchdown. Be close in the final minutes, but they do survive. Maybe a little bit eerily similar to that Tulane game, but Kansas State prevails. Does not put them at the top of the standings or anything, but it's a massive, massive win and a massive, victory to put on their resume, as the Wildcats are, in my opinion, legitimate college football playoff contenders. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of those exclusive expert picks, some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country, beating out over 80% of the national handicappers. Our Week 3 picks are already out on our website, so you do not want to miss out on those. Go place your bets today and go sign up with us today so you don't miss out on any of the content we have, not just for this week, but going forward. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.